Welcome everyone to Until the Whistle Blows. I'm your host Johnathon Jones.
I'm Jackson.
And today we're going to be talking about sports. Thanks everyone for tuning in for episode 7. Today we're going to be talking about everything NFL right now. Right now it is the offseason. The draft just ended, so we are going to be going over all sorts of movement around the NFL, trades. We're going to be talking about the draft. And as we promised in our last 2 episodes, we're going to go over the top 20 movement, signs, re-signs, and trades in the NFL. So we're going to get right down to it, and let's get started. For number 20 on the list, we have the Lions signing wide receiver DJ Chark from the Jaguars for a 1-year, $10 million contract, along with re-signing wide receivers Khalif Raymond and Josh Reynolds. At number 19, we have former Jacksonville Jaguar linebacker Myles Jack signing a 2-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. For number 18, we have QB Matt Ryan. He's going to the Colts with a trade with the Atlanta Falcons in an exchange for a 3rd-round pick. At number 17, we have wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster leaving the Steelers and signing a 1-year deal with a max value of $10.75 million with incentives with the Kansas City Chiefs. At number 16, we have quarterback Tom Brady announcing that he's coming out of retirement and he will return to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the 2022 football season. Now, for number 15, we have former Panther cornerback Stephon Gilmore signing a 2-year deal for $20 million with the Colts with a max value of $23 million. This deal includes $10.51 fully guaranteed and $14 million in total guaranteed. For number 14, we have wide receiver Allen Robinson moving on from the Bears and signing a 3-year, $46.5 million deal that includes $30.7 million fully guaranteed with the Los Angeles Rams. For number 13, we have defensive end Randy Gregory signing a 5-year, $70 million deal that includes $28 million guaranteed with the Broncos. Now, for number 12, we have wide receiver Christian Kirk from the Arizona Cardinals moving on to the Jaguars, and he signed a 4-year, $72 million contract that includes $37 million fully guaranteed with a max value of $84 million. For number 11, quarterback Deshaun Watson was acquired in a trade with the Browns, along with a 2024 6th-round pick in exchange for 3 first-rounders in 2022-2024, a 3rd-rounder in 2023, and finally 2 4th-rounders in 2022 and 2024. Watson will receive a fully guaranteed 5-year deal that is for $230 million. Here we go. We have at number 10, QB Derek Carr re-signs with the Las Vegas Raiders in a 3-year extension worth $121.5 million. For number 9, we have QB Matthew Stafford re-signing with the LA Rams to a 3-year, $129 million extension that includes $60 million in signing bonuses. On number 8, we have the Chargers picking up 2 key defensive players, one being linebacker Khalil Mack, who was traded for the 2022 2nd-round draft pick and a 6th-rounder in 2023. LA also picked up quarterback J.C. Jackson, who signed a 5-year, $82.5 million deal that has $40 million guaranteed. For number 7, wide receiver Amari Cooper was acquired in a trade by the Cleveland Browns with the Dallas Cowboys in exchange for a 2022 5th-round draft pick and a swap of 6th-rounders. For number 6, we have linebacker Von Miller is heading to the Bills. He signed a 6-year, $120 million contract with $51 million guaranteed. And now we have made it to the top 5 of trades. Let's get right to it. We have the trade that shook up the 2022 draft, and that is wide receiver A.J. Brown is leaving the Titans for a 4-year, $100 million contract with the Eagles that includes $57 million guaranteed. Now, what did the Titans get out of this? They picked up a 1st-round pick out of the trade, and they got Arkansas wide receiver Treylon Burks. Number 4, wide receiver Tyreek Hill has agreed to a 4-year, $120 million extension that includes $72.2 million guaranteed with the Dolphins. Now, what's in it for the Chiefs? they will get a 2022 first round, second round, and fourth round picks, and a 2023 fourth round and sixth round picks. Now, top 3. Now, at number 3 on our list, QB Aaron Rodgers. He has signed an extension that it pays $150.815 million over the next 3 years, with $101.515 million guaranteed. This is the highest dollar re-signing we've seen all offseason. At number 2, we have wide receiver Davante Adams, acquired in a trade by the Las Vegas Raiders with the Green Bay Packers in exchange for a 2022 first-round pick and a 2022 second-round pick. Adams is expected to sign a new contract with the Raiders worth $141.25 million over 5 years, with an average of $28.25 million per year. And finally, the biggest trade, the number 1 trade all off-season, has to be QB Russell Wilson leaving the Seahawks and heading to the Denver Broncos. Just for trading him away, along with a 4th round pick, the Seahawks get 2 first round picks, 2 second rounders, a 5th rounder, QB Drew Lock, tight end Noah Fant, and finally they get defensive tackle Shelby Harris, all for Russell Wilson. Now for opinions. Jackson, do you agree with this list, and is there anything you want to go over?
Let me see that. Alright, so the first one, the biggest I agree with is the first one with Russell Wilson. I also believe that that's like one of the biggest things. But also, I feel like with this, there's going to be also another trade with them. Oh no, not the Broncos, the Seahawks, my bad. Because I don't really think the Seahawks will use Drew Lock because of like what he's been doing down in Denver. One thing I do want to also touch up on is the Davante Adams pickup for the Raiders. With this, it spread out like a ton of things throughout the whole NFL. First, it led to Tyreek Hill leaving Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs because he wanted a money chase a little bit, because he saw Davante leaving Aaron Rodgers for getting like all that money, which is $141 million over 5 years. So Tyreek saw it and wanted also the same thing, but he wanted to stay with Kansas, but because they wouldn't give it to him, he had to go to Miami. And then that also led to the Titans' old wide receiver A.J. Brown leaving them to go to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy. Why would the general manager just throw around A.J. Brown?
Yeah.
But as we were kind of going around, it's the cap space. It's all about the money. So.
Money and the years.
Yeah.
The Von Miller one, I really like this pickup. How do you feel about the Matthew Stafford resign?
I think that the LA Rams really figured out that he's probably still in his prime right now. And especially with the transition from the Lions to the Rams. In 1 year, he wins the Super Bowl and surrounded with great players. But, I mean, it's kind of interesting they do re-sign him whenever, people like Von Miller is leaving and Woods is leaving too. Yeah. So it's kind of like it really is going to put Matthew Stafford to the test this season to see how it's not just the people around him that's making him great, to really prove himself, to show that he can be a great QB.
But the Deshaun Watson pickup, that surprised me when I heard that, because of all the allegations he's been picking up over the past year and a half.
And they give him $230 million for 5 years. That's a lot of money.
Guaranteed.
But I mean that just shows the Baker time in Cleveland. It's over.
It's done.
Yeah, they want Deshaun Watson apparently, and giving away $1 billion picks up there, like.
Yeah.
Literally, the picks go until 2024. So.
And then his backup now is if they get rid of Baker Mayfield right now, Deshaun's backup will be Joshua Dobbs, a former Tennessee Vols quarterback, which would be exciting. Because if anything happens with Deshaun, he has to go. Josh might step up.
Yeah, I mean that would be pretty awesome to see him play.
The A-Rob situation too. I did not see that Rams pickup coming.
I mean, it kind of makes sense though with Robert Woods leaving.
Yeah.
But I mean, that only just strengthens the LA wide receivers with Cup, Beckham Jr., and then now they got A-Rob. That's gonna be a nice lineup right there. This is American Auto Care, a family-owned mechanic shop down in Nashville, Tennessee. They do ACs, brakes, tune-ups, and more at the best prices in Tennessee. They're an A+ BBB accredited business, and they've been serving the Nashville area for over 25 years, meaning they know what they're doing. You can visit their website at americanautocare.business.site or call the number on your screen to speak to one of their mechanics. Okay, to end off the show, we are going to be going over key NFL draft pickups. So for one of our pickups that we had the Jaguars selecting Georgia defensive end Trayvon Walker. Of course, he was the first pick of the 2022 draft. He can practically play anywhere on the D-line, and he has great athleticism. He can learn under the leadership of defensive end Josh Allen and replace some major personnel gaps from that 2017 great Jags defense. We also have the Giants picking up Alabama offensive tackle Evan Neal. He was the 7th pick in the first round. Neal is a 6'7", 337-pounder O-line player, and he is a huge addition to the New York O-line. He can use his mass to protect QB Tyrod Taylor. For number 3 on our list, we have the Detroit Lions selecting wide receiver Jameson Williams from Alabama. He was a first-rounder pick, even though his ACL injury held him back in the CFP National Championship. He still has major speed and great playmaking abilities that make him a great selection. Also, he will be a major addition to the Lions wide receiver roster, which includes DJ Chark, Khalif Raymond, and Josh Reynolds. For number 4 on our list, we have the Minnesota Vikings selecting cornerback Andrew Booth from Clemson. He was a second-rounder, 10th pick, and he has amazing agility that helps him thrive in man/zone coverage. He also has great playmaking ability and good skills that helps him rack in the INTs. And finally, we have the Carolina Panthers gaining QB Matt Corral from Ole Miss. Now, it's kind of like thrown out there. He was a third-rounder, 30th pick, but he is a dual-threat QB with great mobility, and he has a great arm. This can open up RPOs for the Carolina offense, and hopefully they can put up more points this season. Thanks everyone for watching until the whistle blows. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to be able to get all sorts of sports news content and all things like that. Thanks for tuning in. This was episode 7. I'm your host, Jonathan Jones.
I'm Jackson Todd.
And we're going to see you in 2 weeks.